Welcome to the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast. I'm Tim Young. What a great morning we have here. I was going to go and talk about a couple of things that have been going on in the news recently, but something popped up as everything changes every single day. This morning, that can't be ignored. The New York Times ran this piece that we're going to cover pretty extensively here, and then we're going to get back to the other stuff if I have time to do it. They are running a propaganda piece. Remember, these are the people who said that the deep state was fake the entire time. Now saying it turns out the deep state is actually kind of awesome, and they do this real big propaganda piece. If you didn't know that you were state-run media, you are now. This Adam Westbrook and Lindsay Krause, I guess, are how you say their names. State-run media, when they're covering for the deep state now, and they're covering for the people who want to eliminate free speech from society and make sure that Donald Trump loses elections, yada, yada. These are the people, again, this was all, they said it was a conspiracy theory before. Now, it turns out the deep state is awesome. Now, they did a video where they travel the country. I have not watched this video yet. I've not had time to watch the video. I'm sure it's going to be a joke. So what I wanted to do this morning was to hang out with you guys and go through and assess this video and see exactly what's covered in it, because I'm sure it's going to be a joke, a total clown show. Again, welcome to the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast. I'm Tim Young. A podcast is powered by American Greatness, and also, if I can find my banners here, cigarsdirect.com. If you want to go get all of the cigars that you possibly could want, cigarsdirect.com. They've got your rare ones. They've got your everyday smokers. They've got your cutters, your lighters, your humidors, everything you could possibly want for your cigars and your collection. Go to cigarsdirect.com. And they also always have sales and deals. So I'll keep my little ticker going. It's the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast here. I want to talk about, again, this article video, and we're going to break it down. It turns out the deep state is actually kind of awesome. I have yet to watch this. I'm going to watch it with you guys as we go through. We're going to break this down. I wanted to talk about other stuff today, but this popped up and it's just unavoidable. So let's get to the article first. Turns out the deep state is kind of awesome. This is as ridiculous as it gets. As America closes in on a major election, mistrust is brewing around a mysterious government entity that's now denounced in scary-sounding terms: the deep state and the swamp. They're not the same thing. To start off, these morons believe the deep state and the swamp is the exact same thing. Totally different things. One's part of the other, but they are not the same. The deep state and the swamp. What do those words even mean? Who exactly do they describe? Now, these New York Times people who live in their own bubble in New York, who probably all go to the same cocktail parties as a lot of the executives from your FBI, your CIA. They hang out with these people. They know exactly who they are. They know exactly what they are going to play stupid here and try to break it down as this is just a propaganda piece for their little fans to lap up. And leftists who they keep in their bubble, who only watch, The View, MSNBC, and CNN to get all of their news. They're Rob Reiners of the world, are reading this and they're like, wait, I thought this was a conspiracy theory. But they are there. Let's go find out. So God knows this is why legacy media is failing. Let's continue on this article. We went on a road trip to find out. As we met the Americans who are being dismissed as public enemies, we discovered that they are like us. Oh, wow. They like Taylor Swift. They dance bachata. They arrest you for protesting outside of Planned Parenthood. Oh, no, that's not. That doesn't say that. They go to bed at night watching Star Trek reruns. They go to work and do their jobs, saving us from Armageddon. Oh, wow. What a group of heroes this deep state is, huh? What a group of true heroes. They save us from Armageddon. Did you guys know that? That they're out there working for us? Saving us from Armageddon? God bless them, huh? They save us from Armageddon. Good Lord. Sure, our tax dollars pay them, but as you'll see in the video above, what a return on our investment we get. They lock up, they raid houses of people we don't like because of their opinions. What a return on our investment. This is I'm sure that the KGB has had articles written about them like this too. The trains run on time. When we hear deep state, instead of recoiling, we should rally. What a world. This is a caricature. This should be an SNL sketch. This is not something that should exist in the real world. Journalism is supposed to dig into and break down things that are nefarious in our society. But instead here, they are giving a circle jerk. They are filleting people who want to take freedom away. We should think about the workers, otherwise known as our public servants, the everyday superheroes who wake up ready to dedicate their careers and their lives to serving us. These are Americans we employ. Okay. Yeah, they are the Americans we employ, but they're against us. They're the Americans that hunted down people for trespassing on January 6th and threw them into jail cells where they've lost all of their fundamental freedoms. And they should have maybe gotten a slap on the wrist and a fine of $25. But instead have been locked in solitary confinement. Even though their work is often invisible, it makes our lives better. I mean, come on, they save us from Armageddon. This is insane. But if Donald Trump is reelected and enacts Schedule F, that could change. He would have the power to eviscerate this so-called deep state and replace our public servants with people who work for him, not us. That's the line. Work for him, not us. Now, when they say work for us, they're talking about, of course, themselves in the media and as leftists who want to push their own version of propaganda. You don't want people who give Americans a fair shake. You want your version of the KGB or the SS that hunt down your opposition and lock them up. Yeah, you don't want people who don't work for you stop us from Armageddon, which to you is misgendering people. In the video above, you'll meet a few of our hardworking American public servants, and we hope you'll agree that they're not scary at all. In fact, they're kind of awesome. What in the blue hell are we going to watch here? So this is the video. As it turns out, the deep state is actually kind of awesome. What pure garbage are we about to watch? Again, these people are filleting. I turned on my own live stream there. These people are filleting the deep state. So I don't know if we're going to get to the whole thing. I mean, all of the other topics. We're going to cover this one because I can't wait to watch this with you and comment along. It turns out the deep state is actually kind of awesome. All right, what's a good angle there? Let's do that. You ready? If you strapped yourselves in, here we go.
I will totally obliterate the deep state.
Okay, so they start with Donald Trump, and of course he's so nefarious. How dare Donald Trump want to destroy the deep state? How dare he? How dare he want to stop our friends who want to stop free speech?
I will fire.
Donald Trump is obsessed with the deep state.
Everyone should be obsessed with the deep state and their overreach. Everyone should be. But, these guys, they're busy doing the propaganda, running the propaganda for it. Here we go.
The deep state is destroying our nation. Either the deep state destroys America or we destroy the deep state.
And many Republicans are widening his paranoia.
Paranoia. See, you're just paranoid. If you think the deep state is real, if you think that when you see people losing their freedoms, when you see 51 former deep state officials signing a letter that says Hunter Biden's laptop is Russian disinformation, that's you. You're crazy. You're paranoid. You're a crazy person. How dare you?
These unelected bureaucrats ruining this country.
I mean, that's true. That is a true statement. Unelected bureaucrats are ruining this country, but don't let that spoil the New York Times good time.
From a cabal of security agents to
The sick political class that hates our country.
That's true. But again, if you're in New York Times, if you go and pay $12 for a latte and you're using pronouns and you want to shut down free speech and keep disgusting books in children's schools, this is the propaganda you're going to push. Do these people realize that they're propagandists? I haven't even gotten 30 seconds into this. Do they realize the propaganda that they're pushing here? Do they realize that they're working for bad people? I guess they don't. Like, isn't this, what movie was it where they're the Nazis and they were like, wait, are we the bad guys? You are. You're the bad guys.
elected, Trump's vowed to gut the federal government.
Good. On day one, reissue 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to fire rogue bureaucrats. Great. He should have the power to do that. You know why? Because he's the president. Overhaul federal departments and agencies, firing all the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. You have a Biden administration right now who is fighting a state, Texas, to stop Texas from defending the border. And they're upset that Donald Trump might fire bureaucrats. Think about that.
Reinstate the Schedule F executive order and, quote, fire rogue bureaucrats.
But
good.
Who are these bureaucrats and what makes them so dangerous?
Oh, look. Hey, the people from New York, from the New York Times, they're coming down from atop their mountain to go out into regular America and learn about things because they don't want to leave the $12 latte, their bougie lives where they're making $120,000 to push bullshit propaganda. Probably more than 120. They're probably making 200. Inflation, you know, that doesn't exist.
We needed answers, so we took a trip across America.
In 100 yards, take the exit.
Who watched their cats when they traveled America, by the way? Who do you think watched their cats?
In search of the people behind this threatening entity.
How did they pick them? How did they pick the people that they talked to? Because I'm sure these are going to be just straight up Democrats, right? How did they randomly, they just randomly contacted their friends in government and they found a few people to talk to. That's lots of questions here that they're not going to answer. Ready?
First stop, Huntsville, Alabama. Sure looks like some nefarious government activity happens around here.
The Marshall Space Flight Center. Their first stop is the Marshall Space Flight Center. That's who they're calling the deep state. Not only, you want to talk about propaganda. Oh, no, it's not the FBI. It's not the CIA. No. It's the Marshall Space Flight Center. Donald Trump, when he's talking about, also these people were the ones who mocked him for creating Space Force. But Donald Trump, when he talks about the deep state, he's clearly talking about the Marshall Space Flight Center. Again, what are they going to get? Oh, they're going to be like, this guy has butterscotches at his desk. He can't be bad. And we're just talking about space here. That's not the deep state. Because it's not. He's a bureaucrat.
You have reached your destination.
Meet Scott Bellamy.
I am a mission manager in the Planetary Missions Program Office.
He drives a Nissan Titan 4x4. He's loved Star Trek since he was a kid.
Of course I have a
So what? This guy isn't who Donald Trump is talking about. Unless he's running satellites that spy on us.
favorite character. It's either Captain Kirk or Mr. Spock.
And he may have quite literally saved the planet from annihilation.
Potentially.
You see, Scott managed a mission called
The double asteroid redirection test.
And back in 2022, his team used your tax dollars to pull off something kind of incredible.
You have an asteroid and you have a spacecraft, and you fly the spacecraft into the asteroid and try to change the trajectory of that asteroid. It's like,
What does this have to do with anything? What does this literally, what does this have? This is not the deep state. This is just a bureaucrat who's running science. This is not what Donald Trump or anyone else is talking about when they refer to the deep state. I don't give a shit what this guy has to say. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this in the background.
playing pool
And
in space.
while they're running propaganda
Everybody's holding
here
their
on
breath.
this guy,
Yeah, this
so
is the moment
I'm
of
not even
truth.
going to put on
Did
the
we
sound
hit
here.
it?
We're just going to run this in the background. Because
We got it?
he's a scientist.
We have impact.
This is not a deep state person. This is not what's referred to in the
They
deep
knocked
state.
an asteroid off its
But
course,
this guy,
proving
they're running this
something that had
propaganda, and they're
previously only
like,
been
Donald
done
Trump
in
is
movies.
crazy. They
Saving
said
the
Donald
world
Trump was
from
crazy when he
Armageddon
created Space Force. They made a
potential.
comedy about it on, I believe, Amazon.
Next, we traveled deep into
And okay, so they're moving on here, I think, and that's where this goes. They mocked Donald Trump for creating Space Force, but now they're saying, "Oh no, the deep state is it's very real." They point out a guy who works at a space flight center that has nothing to do with the deep state. All right, let's go back in and see. I'll turn the volume back up here.
the swamp itself, Washington, D.C.
At least they got that part right. Okay. Here you go. The Environmental Protection Agency Office of Water. Again, when we talk about the deep state, are we talking about the EPA Office of Water? Maybe if they are regulating people out of business. And they just so happen to be conservatives that they're targeting when they do that. But let's see, shall we? Let's see what they refer to here, the New York Times, your classic corporate media. Let's see what they refer to as the deep state in this instance.
You have arrived.
By the way, the annual budget for the EPA's water office is $4.8 billion. Fuck, shut them down. We don't need that. We really don't. Wow, look, they give themselves awards and tell people to clean the microwave. They're just like us.
This is Radhika Fox.
I am the Assistant Administrator for Water at the Environmental Protection Agency.
Hey, I wonder if she's gone to East Palestine. Probably not.
She loves Pilates, making salads, and watching the Taylor Swift Eras Tour on TV with her family.
She doesn't look like she does many Pilates or eats a lot of salads, to be honest with you. Oh, and she loves Taylor Swift because she's just like us. Oh, the EPA administrator, she's just like us. She loves Taylor Swift and eats salads and pretends to go do Pilates. Wow.
I think we're all pretty 1989.
Oh, and she led an operation to make our drinking water lead-free in 10 years.
That's the dream.
Worried and angry about lead contamination, residents of Newark, New Jersey are demanding bottled water and answers.
Lead
That would be Cory Booker's former town that he was the mayor of. So why do they have lead in their water?
is a neurotoxin that can cause irreversible brain damage. Folks are drinking out of these pipes right now.
Every single American child will soon be able to turn on that faucet.
Did you see how they cut that, by the way? Every single American child, hard cut. Because you would talk about covering for Biden's lack of mental capacity. You got to chop hard and move those quotes quick so he looks like he knows what he's talking about.
And their moms and dads know that the water they're drinking is clean.
When President Biden announced the nationwide
They gave him a less than 5 second clip because they know he can't finish the sentence.
plan to remove lead water pipes, Radhika's team made it happen.
Yep, that's right.
Water utilities would be legal.
Water utilities. They're now calling water utilities the deep state. This is the New York Times has now said a guy in the space program and water utilities. These are bureaucrats. This is not the deep state.
Required to replace all remaining lead pipes.
9 million.
Replacing lead pipes. They're like, oh no, listen, the deep state doesn't do anything bad. They're just here to make clean water. Again, not what we're referring to. not what Trump is referring to.
in 10 years or less.
It's an expensive bet.
I don't
$50
give
billion. But those benefits
We're
are
going to
truly
turn that down.
priceless.
Here's
Because it's
somebody
the
who is now
well-being
they're
of
like,
this
oh, look,
nation
I'm
that's
just
at
making
stake.
water clean.
You want to replace your
I'm
own
not-
water pipes?
Again, we're talking
You
about
got the
people
skills
who
to launch an
arrest
asteroid deflecting
and take away
spacecraft?
freedoms. This is
No.
somebody who is now.
That's why
we've
your
gone
tax
from somebody
dollars
in
pay
space
experts like
and somebody who works in space to monitor asteroids and somebody who cleans up lead pipes. These are not deep state
Radica
people.
and
It's
Scott.
not what's being referred
Important
to
work.
as the deep state. Let's see if go back in here and see if we're actually going to cover something
like this is happening all over America. From helping 2 million victims of the opioid crisis.
Oh, look, that one's helping the opioid crisis. That one there, even though they won't close the southern border.
To engineering major breakthroughs in
I mean, you can tell their politics, by the way. The National Nuclear Security Administration, those two, you can tell their politics by looking at them. They smell like cat piss.
nuclear fusion. And helping make hearing aids affordable for 30 million people.
The FDA got this again. We haven't covered anyone. I'm waiting for FBI, CIA, Secret Service, hell, Capitol Police. Where is a member of someone who would be considered part of the deep state? These are just bureaucrats.
Yep, the deep state is hard at work, making America great.
And of course, they have to throw in, they make America great. This is BS propaganda. We have yet to cover anything that is deep state. These are just bureaucrats.
Just because we don't know about it doesn't make it suspicious.
Oh, just because we don't know about it doesn't make it suspicious. So listen, guys, we're going to show you somebody who works with asteroids and then somebody who cleans water pipes. Make sure that there isn't lead in the water. We can all agree on that. Where's your CIA? Where's your dig into the 51 people who were members of the deep state, former intelligence officials? That's what the deep state refers to, is the intelligence offices, not the people at the FDA cleaning water, or EPA cleaning water, or I guess that was NASA earlier, the space system monitoring asteroids. Where's your intelligence officials? These are just crappy bureaucrats, middle managers.
You have arrived.
Our final stop, Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, their final stop is the Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division. So they aren't. When you refer to the deep state, they say they're going to do a takedown of the deep state. And they haven't gone to the FBI, the CIA, the ATF. They haven't gone to any intelligence organizations. They've gone to, it looked like NASA, the EPA, and the Department of Labor. And they're calling that the deep state. These are just bureaucrats. But they're calling it... They're calling this the deep state. They don't even know what the deep state is. They don't even know what it is, or they do know what it is, and they're playing a game. They're playing a mental game with mental midgets. The people who watch the View, the people who watch MSNBC and CNN just to get their news because they just want the talking points from the left barked at them. That's exactly what this is again. There's no intelligence officials being talked about here. We're going to the EPA, a space organization, and now the Department of Labor, Wage and Hour Division. And they're claiming that's the deep state. Good God.
Meet Nancy Alcantara.
I am the acting director of enforcement for the Wage and Hour Division for the Midwest Regional Office for the
I can tell you what her politics are just by looking at her because she smells like cat piss.
U.S. Department of Labor. I had to take a breath, yes.
She still eats Lucky Charms for breakfast, trains for marathons, and loves Latin dancing.
Cumbia.
Again, by the way, when I worked at Social Security, there were meetings to have meetings, and it was a waste of everyone's time. I worked at Social Security about 20 years ago. She eats Lucky Charms for breakfast, everyone. The deep state. Let's go. We're going to analyze the deep state. All right. Let's go to the EPA. Oh, this woman likes Taylor Swift. Let's go to the Department of Labor. Oh, this lady eats Lucky Charms. Where are the intelligence officials. Where are the hard questions? Oh, they're not there. Also, they went to Alabama, big stretch for them. And then they went to Chicago and Washington, D.C. That's where your New York Times people went. They went to all of their favorite towns. They went all the way out of the way to Alabama the one time, but then they went to Washington, D.C. and Chicago. And they're like, we're really digging in.
Cha-cha-cha. You name it, I did it.
And she uses your tax dollars to get kids out of working in dangerous slaughterhouses.
Are there a lot of kids working in slaughterhouses still? I didn't realize it was the 1910s. Are children having their arms ripped off in the mill still? No.
14, 15-year-olds working on the kill floor, cleaning body parts, right? Animal carcasses. They're working with machinery such as skull splitters, bone splitters.
Nancy and her colleagues raided slaughterhouses in several states and found more than 100 children working illegally.
Were they illegal immigrants that shouldn't have been here and they were undocumented and needed to be sent home to their home countries? That's something that the deep state aids and abets, illegal immigrants coming into this country. Oh, but that would be an intelligence office and not someone from the Department of Labor.
Last year,
a middle managers from, I believe that was NASA, the EPA, and the Department of Labor. And they're saying that's the deep state.
Their employer, Packers Sanitation, was fined $1.5 million, one of the largest child labor cases in American history.
Maybe by the fine, but back in the day, like in the early 1900s.
Kids would die. Kids would get limbs amputated. I don't even want to imagine what would happen if no one did this job.
These guys work for you, but Trump wants them working for him.
No. They are middle manager bureaucrats. This piece has nothing to do with the deep state. It's about Donald Trump as president of the United States, as head of our federal government, as head of the executive branch where these organizations fall, being able to be in control of the executive branch. It's exactly what Biden does. But they're like, oh, hey, Donald Trump wants to. When Donald Trump talks about the deep state, he talks about the people who are trying to get lead out of pipes because he's evil. He's not talking about the intelligence officials who are monitoring you, who are talking right now in the Supreme Court. The federal government ordered the Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court, ordered and heavily requested social media companies to edit, to silence Americans when they talked about things like the COVID lab leak, things like Hunter Biden's laptop. But Donald Trump wants to, when he talks about the deep state, he's not talking about the deep state, the intelligence officials. No. He's talking about the nice lady who wants to get lead out of your pipes.
Trump wants to fire at least thousands of these people.
Good. He should fire thousands of them. A lot of them are worthless middle managers who just collect a government paycheck.
That he calls pejoratively the deep state.
Schedule F would allow Trump to fire up to 50,000 of them.
Good.
And replace them with like-minded people.
Sure. That's exactly what Joe Biden does. That's what every administration does. This isn't something crazy.
Sometimes it's really hard to read the newspaper where,
if she reads the newspaper, she's not qualified to do anything and she's got way too much time on her hands. I was told this lady does Pilates and eats salad. She sure doesn't look like it.
You feel like we as public servants are being attacked.
You are, and you should be attacked. You should be criticized. You're a public servant. You're a bureaucrat. You're a middle manager. You deserve to be attacked. And you're not the deep state.
Now, this doesn't mean that Americans can't have different ideas about how big the federal government should be. After all, there's no shortage of examples of real government overreach and overspend. But
there's no shortage of real government overreach and overspend. Where is it? Why is it not in this piece, this puff piece about three randos?
Trump's teaching us to expect the worst from people in government, when the truth is, they're actually some of our best.
Oh, that was it? Get this off of my screen. So when they refer to the deep state, the New York Times is now skewing the definition of the deep state to say that it's somebody from labor, somebody from the EPA monitoring lead in pipes and some guy who monitors asteroids. Had nothing to do with intelligence officials. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. They said they were going to go deep into the country, deep into the swamp. They went to Chicago, they went to D.C., and then they went to, I think it was Huntsville, Alabama at the very beginning. They're claiming that's the deep state. Again, this is total garbage. Total garbage. Turns out the deep state is actually kind of awesome. And again, they said they are saving us from Armageddon is the deep state. And they don't cover anything that is the deep state. I can't even. I'm going to screen grab that and make a comment about it on the Twitter. Listen, folks, this is going to be it for the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast today. I'm not going to go any deeper. The New York Times is garbage. They're trash. And they are, I can't again. They're claiming that the deep state and their puff piece about how amazing the deep state is has nothing to do with intelligence. And they went labor, EPA, and space. They think you're stupid. They think you're stupid, but I know you're not. I know you're not. Until next time, this is the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast, sponsored by cigarsdirect.com and also powered by American Greatness. Guys, I will see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. This one I can't get enough of. I have such a headache from it. I'll see you next time. Be safe. And remember, the deep state is not awesome. Bye.